However, something that really stood out to me when I was doing this research was that there were 3 specific things that I could not find a counterpart on the management side, but I felt were worth mentioning here because I feel like this really gets to the core of what separates a leader from a manager. So the first one is that leaders employ aspects of management, but that is not their primary focus. Obviously, the leader wants to make sure the job gets done, which is why they may employ aspects of management. But at the end of the day, their primary focus is on developing the people and developing a culture within the company that really makes people become excited about the work that they're doing and how they are contributing to the organization overall. And I can certainly see how this would play out because for me, I see myself as more of a leader. However, in my leadership roles, there were times where I had to use aspects of management in order to get the job done. So like laying out the day-to-day tasks and, being specific about, when we do things and how we do things. That was more so for us to get the job done. But at my core, I was really focused on building the relationships and making sure that my team felt connected to the work that they were doing. And so I think for me, I can certainly understand the need for employing aspects of management. So the next item that was specific to leaders was this idea that leaders leave a legacy. And I think that really goes back to the piece about building relationships. Like at the end of the day, leaders want to have a positive influence on their followers and establish a meaningful relationship that expands beyond whatever it is that person is contributing to the team. And I think part of leaving a legacy is making sure that their followers are getting the experience that they need that expands beyond their role at that time. And that's something that I would always do with the people that I supervise, whether it was an intern or one of my long-term staff members. I would always start the relationship with getting a sense for what is it that they wanted to accomplish long-term? Where do they see themselves 5 years from that point? And what are the skills that they specifically need to get them there? And that's what I would try to focus on with them as we went along. And so, particularly with my interns, something that I would do is, I'd meet with them and I would give them the position description and ask them if they had any questions. And then I would also ask them, what are their long-term goals? What is it that they want to do once they leave this internship, or what do they want to do once they graduate? And I would try to make sure that whatever skills that they needed for that particular thing, that they had a chance to work on it with me as part of their internship, assuming it was an experience that I could create for them. Because at the end of the day, I wanted them to be able to take that with them wherever they went. I wanted to make sure that it was a meaningful experience and that they were able to find a balance between the items that I needed to get done and what they felt like they needed to take with them well beyond that internship experience. And so that's just an approach I learned along the way, like knowing that they can look back and say, oh yeah, this experience was really meaningful because it set me up for that. I think that's my way of trying to leave my legacy with those individuals that I interacted with. And the last component that I felt was specific to leadership was that leaders build other leaders. And this really resonated with me because I could see examples of this throughout my career. This is totally going to sound nerdy, but I loved planning our trainings. And I also enjoyed presenting at our trainings. And when I planned the trainings, I would always think about it from the perspective of what is it that can help them not only do that specific job, but also help them long term. Like obviously they're in this role right now, and that's great. And I want to make sure that they have the tools to get it done. But I also want to make sure that whatever it is that they're learning, they can take with them no matter where they went. And so I guess I can relate to this idea that leaders build other leaders because it's something that I had already been doing inherently. And I think this also speaks to why I was always so passionate about planning the training. Like at the end of the day, my priority was to leave people better than I found them. And so those were just 3 characteristics that I learned that were specific to leadership that I could not find a counterpart to in management.